Hey there, welcome to another Let's Meet. In this episode we're gonna know more about Franklin Clinton, one of the three protagonists of Grand Theft Auto 5. Let's do it. Franklin was born in South Los Santos in 1988. He never knew his father, and his mother became a cocaine addict when Franklin was still young. As a child, Franklin often heard stories about how his father was physically abusive towards his mother, possibly causing her cocaine addiction. Franklin's father left his mother while she was pregnant with Franklin, and eventually her addiction led to her death. Following this, Franklin moved in with his grandparents. This is where he met Tonya. Despite being constantly spoiled by his grandmother, Franklin has decided to take on the role of a street hustler. The scheme was successful until Franklin's grandfather caught them in the act, chasing them all around South Los Santos. Later, his grandparents passed away and Franklin was left with his aunt Denise Clinton on Forum Drive. Franklin ended Davis High School along with Lamar, Tanisha, and Tonya, but was expelled for assaulting a teacher. Around this time, he began the life of a gangbanger and dope dealer and started committing various crimes such as carjackings and small-time bank robberies with Lamar. Franklin also worked for a local drug dealer named Marcus, whom he later killed. Franklin was arrested and sent to prison in 2008. After his release, he decided to give up his previous gang life and get some proper work. A few months before the start of his story in the game, Franklin moved beyond the role of ghetto-based street dealer when he and Lamar began working for Simeon. Simeon owns a car dealership which acts as a front for extortion business. Simeon sells cars to people who can't afford them, and when they default on the exorbitant interest payments, Franklin and Lamar repossess the cars. Franklin is described as ambitious and very eager to take on new illegal challenges. He is also described as a logical way of showing a young man with a lot of hope, with Dan Houser claiming that this will be a nice contrast from Michael. He also is a person that, even though he's being mentored by Michael in crime, Franklin mentors Michael in life. This helps build up the father-son relationship between the two. He is also the same toward Michael and Trevor, as he is seen helping them out with most of their problems, like when Amanda cheats on Michael or when he helps Trevor hunt down the remaining O'Neill brothers. This, however, also leads to others around him to consider him disloyal, most notably his aunt Denise, to such an extent that Denise threatens to call the police on him if he sets foot in her yard. Despite this, Franklin does demonstrate loyalty for people that are close to him, like Lamar, who is Franklin's best friend, and Michael, who helped him become a three-bit gangster and a high-profile criminal. Despite not knowing them very well, Franklin also gets along with Michael's family, as shown when Jimmy best friends him and when Amanda responds kindly whenever Franklin greets her while she is home. Although he doesn't get along with Stretch very well, but this is mostly due to Stretch trying to pull Franklin into the life that puts him in jail in the first place, and also due to Stretch's reckless and unintelligent personality, and later on his disloyalty and selling out people who are associated with Franklin. In contrast to Michael and especially Trevor, Franklin is an incredibly tidy person, always trying to keep his image, his vehicles, and his house clean. This is evident in some switch cut scenes where he can be seen cleaning his cars or doing house chores at his mansion, like taking out the garbage or ironing his clothes. He likes also to keep his body in shape and is seen doing exercise like bars in Vespucci Beach or push-ups next to his pool. Franklin seems to suffer from some degree of depression or self-hatred because when he's high on marijuana, he often comments on how empty and alone he feels. He might regret his decision to become a criminal, but it isn't too deep to walk away. In a similar vein to Trevor during shootouts, Franklin might shout at his enemies to shoot him. His lack of initiative hints at insecurity, which further demonstrates a possible mood disorder. His switch scenes imply he is lonely, as many show him roaming around the city alone, and further in the story, he rarely leaves the house. Alienating oneself from friends and relatives is a very common symptom in those who suffer from depression, and Franklin does this although Lamar always appears to have time for him. Franklin doesn't appear to be able to handle pressure very well. As an example, if the player chooses to kill either Michael or Trevor, Franklin tries to justify his actions by claiming it wasn't really his decision or that he didn't have a choice. He lacks initiative and assertiveness when confronted by people who were more influential than he was, rather than attempting to bargain with Steve or Devin to at least pay him for betraying his closest friends, only to realize after that he was used and discarded by both of them. Franklin has been described as fit and fashion conscious. He is 6 feet tall and is mostly seen wearing a blue and white button-up shirt, dark blue jeans or black pants with white stripes and a pair of brown or dark boots. During friendship activities with Michael, Franklin may state that he was used to be fatter, but manages to lose weight. Michael claims that he can kind of see it. Lamar also chides him for not wanting to walk around the block to the vein, claiming,
"You need to walk with your fat ass." Okay, you tall little son of a bitch.
Franklin is a young man and is capable of taking challenging tasks and has a level of physical prowess that both Michael and Trevor lack. As a repossession man, he is a skilled driver behind the wheel of any car. Franklin's special ability allows him to slow down time while driving, improving his driving handling. This special ability can only be used while driving any four-wheeled vehicle or motorcycle. When activated, it allows him to easily take corners at full speed and escape possible accidents with ease. This ability lasts for 30 seconds maximum. Just like Michael and Trevor, Franklin has received a very positive response from critics and fans of the series. Franklin was the idea of this street hustler in the modern world where the glory days, if there ever were glory days of gang banging, had long since passed. When some of the illusions of this life has been shattered, what do you do now having been in that world? That seemed like an interesting character, a guy in his mid to late 20s who wants to move forward but doesn't really know how he's being held back by some of his more idiotic and dangerous friends. The idea with Franklin was someone stepping outside their comfort zone and their normal way of doing things because that way, even though they're still in their mid-20s or whatever, that wasn't worked. That world that they thought they'd be in and be able to make a success of has, thanks to the modern world or the changes in the economy or whatever it is, just failed. It doesn't really exist. They're now looking for something new, a new opportunity. They've gotten their qualifications and gotten all their experiences, and all they're good at is driving and robbing. How do you actually go forward, and how do you get to a kind of mentor you? That was a good contrast. The gangbanger in the post-gangbanging world. In the mission High in the Sky, it is revealed that Franklin was once arrested for public exposure. According to him, it was due to him sagging in public and the LSPD committing racial profiling. Franklin's favorite radio stations are Los Santos, West Coast Classics, and The Lab. According to Tanya, Franklin fooled around with her behind a burger shop when he was 13. However, Franklin denies this and claims nothing serious happened. Franklin's signature color is green, most likely due to his connection with the Chamberlain gangster families. This is seen when using his special ability by screen fading green. The selection of the protagonist colors may be a reflection of the characters' personalities or their individual arcs. Green is the color of intellect and wealth, reflecting Franklin's focus on gaining money and his desire to move up in the world of organized crime. Franklin is the only character to be able to use lock picks. This is extremely useful when trying to steal parked cars when wanted by the police or to avoid attracting attention of pedestrians and bystanders. Also, Franklin can choose not to get inside a car if the alarm goes and wait for a distance until the alarm dies, avoiding a wanted level. Franklin sleeps for most average amount of time out of all three characters. When saving the game as Franklin, the game skips ahead 8 hours. Franklin also sleeps in the fetal position, which is the most common sleeping position in the world. Franklin seems to be the protagonist with most compassion for animals, possibly because he is the only protagonist with a pet. When he runs over a wild animal, he usually responds with compassionate quotes instead of Michael, who usually responds with sarcasm, or Trevor, who responds with dark humor. Franklin shares many similarities with CJ, the protagonist of Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. They are both young men born and currently residing in Los Santos. They are both very calm and are interested in making money and rising to the top of the criminal underworld. By another coincidence, both Franklin and CJ's voice actors are cousins. That's all we have for Franklin. If he is your favorite protagonist or if you want a Let's Meet about Trevor as well, give this video a like. Thank you for watching and we see you on the next video. Bye bye.